Hey guys, Shay here from Fool on a Journey, and I am going to be talking about my big change in my 2020 sort of spiritual practice plans. I know it's gone for a little while, and I kind of want to start talking about that a little bit. Mostly I got busy. It was not with anything bad or stressful. It was really fun, exciting stuff, so I'm not upset about it. And when it came to I needed to drop something because there's not time for literally everything, YouTube kind of just was the easy thing to drop. But the reason it was so easy to drop is because I was working way too hard at it. I know what you're thinking. You don't do any kind of editing and your photo quality is pretty low, which is true. I'm not that worried about it. But I spent so much time clipping stuff out of videos. Anytime I would say I would try to edit it out. Anytime there was a sniff or I paused to take a sip of a drink, I was cutting all that stuff out. So like, for example, that book review that I just did the last video I did was the book review of The Devil's Notebook. It was an 18-minute video. I filmed 40 minutes. Like 20 minutes, over 20 minutes of that video was cut out because it was rambling, it was taking too long. So in order to cut it down that much, I watched the 40 minutes a ton of times. And it was like, okay, that's not really important. Okay, that's not really important. So I have decided moving forward that I'm going to make notes. So I have some notes right here next to me. I'm going to try really hard. Look, I just said again because now I'm thinking about saying those are sort of weird rambly things that I would have edited out before. I'm just letting them go. I'm letting them slide. It is what it is. This is how I talk to people. So I have notes. I'm going to stay focused on those notes. Occasionally, I'm going to realize that I have gone off topic. I'm going to go back to the notes and get through everything that I really wanted to say and just worry about editing less so that we can put up more videos, because that's kind of the point of YouTube, right? Post some videos. So, spiritual practice. I talk about it all the time. Blah, 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 spiritual practice this. I'm making my own spiritual practice that. But I've never really talked about what my spiritual practice is. So here we go. My spiritual practice revolves around the rosary. This is a mini one. So this is only 1 decade, which is 1 bead down here for the Our Father, and then 10 beads here make the decade. Okay, a full-size rosary then has 5 of those decades. But I'm not going super in-depth into that because that's a whole video. We'll wait on that one. Video for another day. Stay focused. Initially, when the church was teaching the common people to say the rosary, they struggled with them remembering all of the mysteries. So there is a mystery of Jesus' life. There are 5 different ones make up the sorrowful mysteries, 5 different ones make up the joyful mysteries. None of this is important. What's important is that in my studying of the rosary, I discovered that initially the common people who could not read, when they were trying to contemplate the mysteries and they didn't know them, they would then look at pictures. So the church would issue these pamphlets that had pictures, scenes from Christ's life to represent each of the mysteries. Arcana means mystery, the major mysteries of the tarot. I had that immediate, like, oh yes, this is what I should be doing. So I created a situation where I would pull out 5 tarot cards and I would do a decade of the rosary contemplating each of those 5 cards, and that was how I would pray. So then initially it was 5 random cards. Then it was 5 cards that I pulled intentionally for things I was looking to bring into my life or things that I wanted to contemplate. Sometimes it was just 5 favorites. Sometimes it was 5 I didn't like at all. I needed some structure. So I discovered, that's not true, I didn't really discover, but I found, by watching YouTube, the idea of a card of the year. So way back in 2017, when I discovered this whole cool thing of card of the year, my card was, can you see this? I'm trying not to pick it up and move it because that makes things obnoxious. So the Hermit was 2017. And I decided that was a sign. I'm a huge book reader. I love the idea of self-study. And that was going to be great. I was like, yes, this is it. So I bought this. It's just man, look, this is even blank. I didn't even get very far in it, clearly. Or at least I just didn't in this day. There's stuff later on. It's a daily calendar appointment book that I got from Walmart, super cheap. So I bought it at the end of 2016, and I filled in all the months with this puppy right here. Okay, so this wheel that you're looking at creates the year, and it is filled with all the Golden Dawn associations. So on the outside here, so it's just Pisces is right here. So this is the like zodiac sign for this time of year. And then you have Saturn in Pisces, and Jupiter in Pisces, and Mars in Pisces, and that gets you the 8 and 9 and 10 of cups. And I used that to create this, where you then see, okay, so we've got the 3 of Wands starting here. Actually, it didn't start here because that's not the, so like here's where the 4 of Wands, can you see this? Yeah, so the 4 of Wands starts here, that's where the 3 of Wands ends. 5 of Pentacles, so we're switching signs here because this is Taurus, and I used that, and you'll also notice the runes are in here, and my little, down here is all of the fortnights of the runes, which there is not a solid consensus on how the runes are divided through the year. That one was from, it was the only one that I found in 2 different of the books that I owned. So Futhark by, I think Thorson, and the Llewellyn's Complete Book of Correspondences both had these same dates and tarot associations. So I decided that if there was any consensus at all, that was going to work for me. So I used that. But honestly, in 2017, I knew nothing about the runes. I just had one set that was really pretty. I bought it because it was pretty. And the idea was, this is a hermit year. I'll look into this. It didn't really happen. So essentially what ended up happening was I spent a year contemplating being a hermit without actually being the hermit. But I felt very strongly in 2018 that really was, like, that was the year where I was the hermit. That was the year I really started studying. That was the year I was reading these really in-depth books. That was the year that I was really expanding what's the purpose, I was doing the work of the hermit finally in action in 2018. So I spent 17 contemplating it, and then in 2018 it was happening in the practice. I was acting the hermit. I feel like that sort of became a trend. So 2018 was the year of the Wheel of Fortune for me, and the motto, I'm just going to call it that, the motto theme of the year that I got from the wheel was just roll with it. But I didn't really do that. Like, I'm a particular person. I like plans. If you screw up my plans, what the hell are you doing? Get out of my way so we can get back on track. And so I would have it in my mind for that year, but then I wasn't really just rolling with it until 2019. And I felt like there was a lot of spend the year contemplating and then do it. And I didn't want that to continue. I wanted to do it. Like, I wanted it to be, how do we do this now? So things sort of kept changing as I sort of found weaknesses and strengths within what I was doing. So 2019 was my justice year. And that added to what was going on a plain strand of mala beads, which is weird for me initially. Like, it took me a little bit to kind of get into the idea. I knew that I liked the speaking through meditation worked for me. That's why the rosary works for me. I enter into a state of meditation because I can say those prayers and sort of just get lost into whatever it is that I'm contemplating, because those prayers come natural to me after 30 years of saying them. The mala, you make whatever mantra that you want. So I decided for my 2011, whew, it was 11 was my number. So justice, my justice year for 2019. I ordered mala beads and I did an affirmation for justice, and it was I am balanced. And I said that every single day. Now there was more because there would be other cards, and I did end up, you'll see back here on this daily, I had a card of the month that I had drawn in New Year's the past year. You can't even see that. There's like a card of the month, that's the sun, there's your rune, there's your decan, and there was this whole idea of, AM, what do we think about these things? And then PM, pray the rosary with those 5 things as my decades. It's not going to happen every day. Like it didn't happen. I needed to embrace that it wasn't going to happen, and we had to make changes accordingly. So we moved into this guy right here. Now it's cleaned out now because I'm sort of in the process of setting it up for 2020. But so then what happens is the month goes here, and again it's just undated inserts. Okay, so the month goes here, and then we go back into the daily. So because it's not daily pages, I didn't feel as bad about not doing the sort of in-depth thing every day. But what I did do every day, let me find the page that I left in here for this. We'll do this one. So what I would do, and you can see, here's the 23rd, here's the 28th. And even when I didn't write in here, I did the mantra at least in the morning of I am balanced, because that was the one that didn't change. Now here on the 28th, we've got the Year of Justice, the Sun in Leo, Fortnight of Oruz, however you pronounce that, Decan of the 5 of Wands, and the Oracle card was a gazelle. Now obviously I was using some kind of animal oracle deck. So then my mantras that I went through all the way around for each of these only takes about 5 minutes. Like, it's not a really in-depth thing. It's just saying them, repeating them, bringing them into yourself, however you want to view that. I am balanced. I am strong. I am full of energy. I am competitive. I am quick. So I would go all the way around. I am balanced. I am balanced. I am balanced. I am balanced. And then all the way around. I am strong. I am strong. I am strong. And that 5 minutes in the morning, I was doing every day, and I really felt like I hit the feeling of bringing justice into my life and really making it work and be in action at about September. Like, I really felt like, yes, this is it. This is what it feels like to have balance and to be balanced. And to have that feeling before the whole next year was a new experience. And so I realized that the things were working, and the things that I was changing were definitely working for me. And I needed to reevaluate what I was meditating on and contemplating based on what I had been studying and what was important to me. And this has become very important to me. Just the ideas involved and surrounding Kabbalah, and the idea of there being a path that you can work up and down from the energy of God to what is a part of God within you, that just makes sense to me. Like that, I don't have a good word for it. This is another one of those things where I would normally just sort of talk in circles until I said something good, but I don't want to have to edit so much anymore, so we're going to skip that ramble and just say it just worked. It made sense. It called to me. So I decided that I wanted something that went more in this direction, that had more of a path instead of hopping around here where, so Aquarius is the star, that's 17, Pisces is the moon, that's 18, Aries is the emperor, that's 14. How does that make sense? To go, like I get what it's going on with the seasons and astrologically, yes, it makes sense. But when you're talking about using it as a path for spiritual growth, it's very disjointed. It doesn't feel like one big, long thing. And also, if you start on January 1st, you're in the middle, where is it? Somewhere in Capricorn. Like, nothing starts on January 1st. Like, to start a new year, I was starting my New Year's on December 22nd. Like, that just doesn't make sense for what I'm doing and for my life. So I just had to change it. So I picked 5 things. I will say this year I did a lot of more in-depth study on the runes, so adding them in this year, I'm doing that more intentionally. The notes that I now go back and read about runes are notes that I have written myself based on my own reading and study, so it feels a little bit more genuine than just referring to a book at the beginning of whenever the rune changes. And I've picked 5 things. So runes obviously are one, and then you have the aces, the court cards, the majors, and the minors. So those are going to be my 5. And then you just take each of those divisions. There's 24 runes. Divide it by 365 days. Put it on a calendar. Take the aces. There's 4 of them. There's 4 quarters in the year. Here we go. January 1st, I'm on the Ace of Wands. April 1st, I'm on the Ace of Cups. I did decide to use the order of, I think it's called Order of Emanations. I don't know. I don't have all of the vocabulary for Kabbalah all down, but the process makes sense, so just forgive me. Whew, I started talking really fast. Sorry, I'm gonna breathe for a second. The order of sort of emanation from God, it was the fire, and then the water, and then air, and then earth. So there's a lot of ordering based on wands, cups, swords, pentacles, and it all starts January 1st because I made it. So January 1st, we're starting with Ace of Wands, Page of Wands, the Fool, the very first rune. Runes have an order. I didn't even know that because I was just looking at them based on this. Like, I don't know what number they are. I know their tarot association and when their fortnight is. That was not helpful. The runes have an order. They're grouped in 7s that all have certain collective meanings. The first one of a group of 7 has more weight. The last one of a group of 7 has more weight. Who knew all of this? Not me, because I was studying them out of order. Whew. Okay, I got talking fast again. I'm going to breathe. And again, I'm just not going to edit this out. You can just deal with me getting excited. So the first rune is Feiyu, and the 2 of Wands. And then on December 11th, I'm going to the 2 of Cups because we're staying at the top and we're working our way down. So we're starting the year with 2s, we're ending the year on 10s. The aces will be going sort of collectively throughout the year. The court cards are the only things that I'm not really doing in order per se. We'll see how it goes. I may change next year to doing all the pages first, but I did decide to do, so it'll be Page of Wands, Knight of Cups, Queen of Swords, I don't know why I'm doing this over here, Queen of Swords, and then King of Pentacles, and then you'd roll again back to Page of Cups, Knight of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, King of Wands. So I am going Page, Knight, Queen, King, instead of Page, 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 Knight, 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 Queen, 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 King, King, King. We'll see how that goes. I'll let you know. Because I've really gotten into this idea of I can make whatever I need to make out of this to make it work. Like, that's allowed. That's what you should be doing. What works for you, and then do it. So those are sort of the 5 divisions of things, but when it comes to actually contemplating and what I'm going to be meditating on through my decades of the rosary that I will be saying, the goal is at least once every 10 days so that I get all of the all the minors should be involved. So once every 10 days, that is some time in there. That seems like an easy commitment to make. And the aces will actually not be a part of that meditation because the first thing that I will meditate on for all of my rosaries will be my card of the year. So it'll always be the Hangman. And the aces will still sit on the altar for all of the year, whatever the quarter that we happen to be in. But when it comes to my 5 decades, it will be 1 decade of the card of the year, 1 decade of the court card I'm currently on, 1 decade of the major I'm currently on, 1 decade of the rune I'm currently on, and 1 decade of the minor that I'm currently on. And that is how we will be praying, but I will still do the mantras every morning, and I will put in a mantra for the aces. And I do make my own. There are definitely some involved in a bunch of different tarot books, include sort of like this mantra works for this card. you can start there if you don't have any good ideas, but I have decided to write my own. I don't have one yet for the Hanged Man, but as soon as I do, I'm sure you will start seeing it all over my social media starting in January. And that's it. Like, that is my current spiritual practice. So if you have any questions or comments, please put them down below. Please like this video. I would love it. I am hoping that I am back to posting more regularly moving forward, since I've decided to just sort of, I don't know, let it hang out. This is what it is. There's no, I'm not chopping it up into pieces. The 20 minutes that I've filmed is the 20 minutes you will see. You can always email me about anything tarot if you would like some more in-depth response. I do still give free readings, but they're on a very slow basis, just because this is something that I do as a hobby. It's not something that is a priority in life. But if you're interested in a free reading, you can email me fullonAjourney@gmail.com. That'll all be in the description below. And thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging in there, even though I disappeared for a little while. And you will be seeing more of me in 2020.